The echo of the Tournament of Power still resonated throughout the multiverse. The universes that had been erased, restored by Android 17's altruistic wish, were now flourishing again. Goku, however, couldn't shake the fleeting sensation of absolute mastery he'd experienced with Ultra Instinct. It was a dance between consciousness and instinct, a state that bordered on divinity, and he yearned to reach it permanently, not for power, but for the thrill of surpassing himself. In ZENO-sama's palace, the monotonous routine continued. The two kings of everything played tirelessly with planets, moving and crashing them with the innocence of divine children. Daishinkan, Grand Minister, watched with his usual serenity, overseeing the delicate universal balance. Future ZENO-sama abruptly stopped his game. "Hey, future Daishinkan, I want to see Goku." "Do you wish to play with Lord Goku, then?" "Yes, I want to play with Goku." "And I do too," President Zeno added. "Goku is fun." "Understood, my great ZENO-samas. I will summon Lord Goku immediately," Daishinkan said with a smile, though a slight worry crossed his mind. Goku, with his irreverent nature, always managed to pull the Zenos out of their boredom, but sometimes he also caused minor incidents. Daishinkan instantly materialized on Beerus's planet, where Goku, Vegeta, and Beerus were engaged in one of their usual destructive training sessions. Goku, mid-Kamehameha toward a giant rock, stopped upon sensing the immense presence. "Wow, Daishinkan-sama!" Goku exclaimed, scratching his head with a grin. "Is something wrong?" Beerus and Whis immediately knelt, almost hitting the ground. "Great Priest, it is an honor to have you on our humble planet," Beerus said, trembling. Daishinkan smiled kindly. "There is no need for such formality, Lord Beerus. I have come for Lord Goku. My great ZENO-samas desire his presence at the palace of the King of Everything." "ZENO-sama wants to play?" Goku asked, with a sparkle in his eyes, already thinking about the planets he might bounce. "That is right, Lord Goku. Your presence always cheers up the ZENO-samas," Daishinkan confirmed. "Awesome! Let's go then," Goku said, without a second thought. Vegeta merely grumbled, envious of the treatment Goku received from the deities. At the palace of the King of Everything, Goku fed on the two Zenos floating in the air, eager. "Goku, you're here!" they both said in unison, rushing toward him. "Hello, ZENO-samas. What are we gonna play today?" "Look, Goku, look at my new planet." "Mine is bigger," the other countered. Hours would pass, and Goku, with his infinite patience for the ZENO-samas, played with them, crashing planets, simulating space battles, and creating toy galaxies. Daishinkan, Grand Minister, watched from a distance with a smile on his face, while Beerus and Whis, who had been invited to observe, were relieved that everything was proceeding without major incident. Suddenly, during a brief pause while the ZENO-samas were distracted by a new creation, Goku, with his usual spontaneity, addressed them. "Hey, ZENO-samas, don't you want to train me?" The ZENO-samas, who were about to resume their game, stopped abruptly. Their small eyes widened in astonishment. "Train?" they exclaimed, looking at each other. "Yes! I've reached a state of power called Ultra Instinct, but I can't quite master it. And you are the strongest beings, aren't you? You could teach me, right?" Goku explained with the sincerity of a child. Daishinkan, Whis, and Beerus froze. Goku asking the kings of everything to train him? "Still fun," said President Zeno with a smile. "Yes, very fun," added future Zeno, nodding vigorously. "We will train Goku."
Goku smiled excitedly. Great! Thank you very much, Zeno-samas! But future Zeno said, raising a tiny finger, Daijinkan will train you first. Yes, Daijinkan will make you stronger, said present Zeno. Goku blinked, slightly surprised. Daijinkan-sama? You will train me? Daijinkan, who had maintained his composure until that moment, bowed again. If my great Zeno-samas wish it, it will be an honor, Lord Goku. A spark of intrigue shone in the Grand Priest's eyes. This was a unique opportunity to better understand the Saiyan's limitless potential. Beerus and Whis, for their part, were in a state of shock. Thus began Goku's training under the guidance of Daijinkan, the most powerful being in the universes besides Zeno-sama. It was not conventional training. Daijinkan did not use weights or simple combat, but challenges that went beyond physical strength. He would take Goku to dimensions where time and space warped, where logic was an alien concept. Lord Goku, Ultra Instinct is not just a combat technique, it is a state of being. It requires a completely clear mind, an immutable spirit, and a body that reacts without thought. Daijinkan explained while Goku tried to dodge 1,000,000 simultaneous energy beams, each with the power to destroy a small galaxy. Goku was initially frustrated. It's impossible, Daijinkan-sama. My body can't react that fast without me thinking about it. Precisely, Lord Goku. It is her thought that limits you. Ultra Instinct is the art of non-thought, of letting the body act by itself, guided by the pure intuition of the moment. Daijinkan calmly replied as the beams grazed Goku, leaving light burns. At another time, Daijinkan made him meditate in the center of a black hole where gravity and time were twisted. Goku had to keep his mind blank without letting the chaos of the singularity drag him away. It was mental agony. True power resides in self-control, Lord Goku. The capacity of a being to master their emotions, their thoughts, their desires. That is what brings them closer to true divinity. Daijinkan explained as he observed Goku, who now floated calmly on the edge of the black hole, his aura gently flickering. Months turned into years. Goku trained with an intensity that surpassed even his previous training with Whis. His body, mind, and spirit were pushed to the limit and then a step further. He learned to sense the presence of everything, to predict his opponent's movements before they happen, not through telepathy, but through an intrinsic connection with the universal flow. One day, Daijinkan placed Goku in a vast empty sphere, a blank canvas for the manifestation of power. Lord Goku, today is your final test. You must achieve complete Ultra Instinct, not the imperfect form you gained in the Tournament of Power, but total mastery. And to do so, you must face me in real combat. Goku felt a shiver of excitement. For the first time in years, his heart, which Whis had taught him to control, not to cool, was pounding with the anticipation of a true battle. I am ready, Daijinkan-sama. Daijinkan moved first, a blur of speed that defied comprehension. But Goku responded. His body moved by itself, dodging the Grand Priest's punch by millimeters. But Daijinkan was too fast, too experienced. The angel's blows rained on Goku, each one deflected, but none connecting directly with the Grand Priest. You still rely on defense, Lord Goku. Ultra Instinct is also thoughtless attack. It is the perfect execution of an action, not just a reaction. Daijinkan said as he dodged an instinctive counterattack from Goku. Goku closed his eyes. Daijinkan's words resonated in his mind. He opened his eyes. His hair didn't rise. There was no outward aura. but his eyes turned an intense, piercing silver. It was the perfection of mastered Ultra Instinct. Daishinkan smiled. "Ah, you have done it! Mastered Ultra Instinct! Now, show me what you are capable of, Lord Goku." The battle resumed. This time, Goku not only dodged but also attacked with astonishing fluidity. His movements were unpredictable, his speed unattainable. Every punch, every kick was executed with divine precision. Daishinkan, for the first time, was forced to move with a speed and agility never before seen, not only to dodge, but also to defend himself from Goku's unstoppable attacks. With a swift movement, the Grand Priest managed to land a kick to Goku's stomach, sending him flying far away. Goku recovered in the air, but the blow had affected him. Daishinkan followed with a barrage of ki attacks. Goku, despite his mastered Ultra Instinct, was on the ropes. Daishinkan's power was overwhelming. Lord Goku, mastered Ultra Instinct is a state of perfect balance, but even perfect balance can be broken by superior power, Daishinkan said as he continued his relentless attack.
Goku felt that Ultra Instinct alone would not be enough. He needed more. He needed to take his instinct to a superior level, a phase beyond the known. Rage began to boil inside him, but not the blind fury of a Saiyan, rather a controlled rage, a fierce determination. "It's not enough!" Goku screamed as energy began to pour from his body with an uncontrollable fury. His already silver hair began to grow. It did not stop at a Super Saiyan 3 form, but continued to lengthen, becoming thicker and spikier, while his silver aura transformed into a tempest of energy. Lightning began to crackle around him, but it was not red or blue, but an iridescent white. Daishinkan paused his attack, watching with a mixture of astonishment and slight concern. "What? What is this?" Goku's scream resonated through the empty space, a cry that seemed to tear reality itself. His eyes, still silver, now shone with an even greater, almost blinding intensity. His body, now more muscular and defined, radiated a power that shook the very fabric of existence. "This is it!" Goku shouted, his voice resonating with divine authority. "Ultra Instinct Phase 3! The silver hair, now long down to his waist, moved like a cascade of pure light. His aura had become a solid manifestation of energy, an impenetrable fortress. In this state, Goku not only reacted without thinking, but now his body attacked with instinctive force and brutality without the slightest hesitation. Daishinkan, with a smile on his face, prepared for battle. "Magnificent, Lord Goku. Truly magnificent. Now, allow me to test this new stage of your power." The final battle between Goku and Daishinkan was a symphony of controlled destruction. Every one of Goku's blows created shockwaves that rocked the void. Daishinkan, for his part, was forced to use all his power and experience to defend and counterattack. For the first time, the Grand Priest felt the balance tip, if only for an instant. Goku moved with a speed that made Daishinkan seem static. He connected a flurry of blows to the Grand Priest's chest, each one breaching his defense. Daishinkan retreated for the first time, visibly damaged. "Incredible, Lord Goku. You have surpassed my expectations," Daishinkan said, wiping a thread of blood from the corner of his lips. Goku, without a word, launched a Kamehameha, but this was not the usual attack. It was an explosion of pure silver energy with iridescent flashes that expanded like a miniature universe. Daishinkan was forced to create a formidable energy barrier to withstand the attack, but even the barrier began to crack. "I cannot withstand this power for much longer," Daishinkan thought, his features tense. Finally, the Ultra Instinct Phase 3 Kamehameha faded, leaving Daishin-kan exhausted, but with a satisfied smile on his face. "You have passed the test, Lord Goku. Your power is truly worthy of a king of everything." Goku returned to his base form, exhausted, but with an immense sense of accomplishment. "I did it! I mastered Ultra Instinct Phase 3! Daishin-kan explained that his new state was a manifestation of the natural evolution of Ultra Instinct, driven by his determination and his connection to the universal flow. It no longer was just a perfect defense, but a perfect attack and existence. Back at Zeno-sama's palace, the little kings were impatient. "Goku, now it's our turn!" they exclaimed in unison. Goku, still recovering, smiled. "I'm ready, Zeno-samas! Teach me everything you know!" The Zeno-samas, however, did not take him to another combat training. Instead, they transported him to a dimension of pure creation. There they showed him how universes were born, how stars ignited, and how life began to flourish. They did not train him to fight, but to rule. "Zeno-samas, is this what you do?" "Yes, we create and destroy, but we create more," said one Zeno-sama. "And Goku, you will be the new one to create," said the other Zeno-sama. Goku was dumbfounded. "Me? The new king of everything?" Daishin-kan approached. "Lord Goku, you have demonstrated not only limitless power, but a pure heart, a disciplined mind, and the capacity to learn and evolve beyond any mortal. The Zeno-samas are not destroyers by nature, but creators and balancers. Your training with me was to prepare you for this eventuality." Goku, the Saiyan who only wanted to be stronger, now faced the destiny of becoming the supreme monarch of the multiverse, a task that required not only his Ultra Instinct Phase 3, but also the compassion and vision he had cultivated throughout his incredible journey. And thus, the story of Goku, the protector of Earth, the warrior with a pure heart, was about to take a new direction. The path of the King of Everything. After mastering Ultra Instinct Phase 3, Goku had reached a level of power and serenity that few mortals or even deities could comprehend. His mind, trained by Daishin-kan, was a haven of calm, and his body a perfect machine of instinctive combat. He accepted the eventuality of becoming the king of everything, not with arrogance, but with the same curiosity and desire to protect that had always driven him. The Zeno-sama, satisfied with their student, sent him back to Universe 7, promising that true training to be the king of everything would begin when he felt ready to be bored with fighting. Back at Theris' planet, Whis and Beerus observed Goku with a mixture of respect and fear.
"Oh, incredible, Lord Goku. Your power is immeasurable,"
Whis exclaimed, shaking his staff.
Even my father, Daishin-kan-sama, was forced to use his full might."
Beerus, with his usual frown, nodded slowly. "That Saiyan is a monster, and to think I was the god of destruction of his universe." Goku scratched his head, slightly embarrassed. "Well, I still have a long way to go to be like Daishin-kan-sama, and the Zeno-samas want me to train to be the king of everything." Beerus and Whis nearly fainted. "The king of everything?" they exclaimed in unison. "Yeah, but they said it will be when I no longer want to fight, so I still have some time to have a little more fun," Goku said with his characteristic smile, already thinking of the next challenge. While Goku enjoyed a well-deserved meal after his exhausting training, something unusual began to happen in the multiverse.
In the realm of the Zeno-samas, the space around the tiny gods began to flicker. Daishin-kan, who was instructing the attendant angels, frowned. "Daishin-kan-sama, what is happening?" an angel asked. It seems that the restoration of the universes by Lord Android 17's wish has had an unexpected repercussion. Not only the universes, but also certain elements that were tied to them. With Android 17's wish to restore all eliminated universes, it had brought back not only planets and civilizations, but also anomalies, beings that had been erased long before the gods of destruction formally existed, even before the angels. In some cases, they were forgotten legends, entities of such vast power that their existence had been purged from history to maintain balance. One of these beings, whose legend was whispered only among the most ancient Kaioshians and the few gods of destruction who knew the primordial secrets of the multiverse, was Ryzen. Ryzen was neither a god of destruction nor an angel. He was an entity of pure cosmic energy born at the dawn of the multiverse, long before the hierarchy of the 12 universes was established. His existence was an error, an uncontrollable force that consumed and created without purpose, driven by an insatiable hunger for power. He had been sealed, not erased, by the first ZENO, ancestors of the current ones, who used cosmic magic to lock him in a dimensional prison that would dissolve if the reality of his origin were ever restored. The restoration of the universes, an act of kindness, had unintentionally undone Ryzen's seal. The dimensional prison disintegrated, and Ryzen, the Star Devourer, as the few who remembered him called him, began to manifest again. On Beerus's planet, Goku, who had just finished a gigantic bowl of food, felt a disturbance. It wasn't ki, it was something more primordial, a void that seemed to absorb light and energy. "Hey, Whis, do you feel that?" Goku asked, jumping up. His usual smile was replaced by a serious expression. Whis, who was about to take a sip of tea, frowned. It is an unusual phenomenon, Lord Goku. An absence more than a presence. Something that should not exist. Beerus stood up, his ears trembling. "This is terrible. This power is like a plague. It's Ryzen." Ryzen? Who is that? He was a legend, a being who was sealed, not erased, because his power was so destructive it couldn't be eradicated. It was believed his seal was unbreakable, but with the restoration of the universes, something must have freed him. At that moment, a dark fissure opened in the sky of Beerus's planet. From it emerged an imposing figure. It was Ryzen. His appearance was intimidating, a humanoid being, but his skin was dark, cracked gray, as if made of cosmic rock. His eyes, two slits of brilliant red, emitted an ominous energy. He wore simple armor, but it felt as if it absorbed the light around him. He did not possess conventional ki, but an anti-energy that seemed to deny existence. "Freedom, at last!" Ryzen's voice resonated, a guttural, deep sound that seemed to come from the void. "My hunger has grown with my slumber." Beerus prepared for battle. "Ryzen, return to your prison. You have no place in this multiverse." Ryzen looked at Beerus with disdain. "A god of destruction, you are insignificant, just another parasite in this vast existence." With a wave of his hand, Ryzen unleashed a wave of dark energy that slammed into Beerus. The god of destruction screamed in pain, thrown against the mountain that disintegrated upon contact with Ryzen's energy. "Beerusina!" Whis exclaimed, visibly worried. "That guy is too strong," Goku said, instantly transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. His muscles tensed and his blue aura crackled with power. "It is not enough, Lord Goku," Whis warned. "His power negates ki. It is as if the Hakai is nothing to him." Ryzen turned toward Goku. A sadistic smile formed on his cracked lips. "A Saiyan. Interesting. I feel a pure energy in you, very different from the others. You will be a delicious meal." Goku lunged at Ryzen, his fists enveloped in ki. The impact was brutal, but Ryzen did not even flinch. Goku's energy seemed to vanish upon contact with the Star Devourer's skin. "What the heck?" Goku exclaimed, recoiling. "Your power is a spark in the darkness of my existence," said Ryzen, and with a single blow he sent Goku flying through several rock formations. Goku got up, his uniform somewhat torn. "This guy is unlike anything I've faced before. My ki does nothing to him." Whis, with a somber expression, said, "Lord Goku, your Ultra Instinct might be your only hope. Your body reacts without relying on the manipulation of pure ki. It is a state of universal harmony, separate from Ryzen's energy negation." Goku closed his eyes, remembering Daishinkan's words. "Silence the mind, let the body act." Goku's hair began to shimmer, and in an instant he transformed. His hair, now long and silver, rose fiercely, and his silver eyes emitted a blinding light. Ryzen observed the transformation with a hint of interest. A new manifestation of energy. Interesting. But will it be enough to satisfy my hunger? Goku, now in Ultra Instinct Phase 3, moved. There was no need to detect Ryzen, only the perfection of instinctive movement. Ryzen attempted a blow, but Goku dodged it by a millimeter, and his fist, though emitting no visible ki, impacted directly on Ryzen's face. For the first time, Ryzen felt pain. His head snapped to the side, and a deeper crack formed in his rocky skin. "How?" Ryzen exclaimed in astonishment, holding his face. "My Ultra Instinct Phase 3 does not rely on ki, but on the perfection of my body and my instinct, and with this, I can hit you." The battle between Goku and Ultra Instinct Phase 3 and Ryzen, the Star Devourer, began. It was a clash of realities. Instinctive perfection against existential negation. Goku's fists, though they emitted no visible ki, impacted with a universal force. Ryzen, now forced to defend himself, discovered that the pure energy of Ultra Instinct Phase 3 could not be absorbed or negated. "This is impossible!" Ryzen shouted as Goku's blows made him retreat, each impact leaving new cracks in his body. "No being is immune to my power. You are an anomaly, Ryzen, a force that denies life!" Goku shouted, unleashing a flurry of punches that made the air vibrate. The fight carried Goku and Ryzen across dimensions, crossing between universes, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The gods of destruction from other universes sensed the anomaly, the clash of two titanic forces, but dared not intervene, knowing their Hakai would be useless against Ryzen and that Goku's energy was a force they did not understand. "No! You can't destroy me!" Ryzen shouted, launching a desperate burst of dark energy that Goku easily dodged, his body acting on its own. Finally, Goku rose into the air, his fists glowing with the silver light of Ultra Instinct Phase 3. He concentrated all his will and instinct into a single attack, This ends now! Goku screamed, delivering a final blow that pierced Rizen's chest. The impact was not a ki explosion, but a disintegration. Rizen, the Star Devourer, began to crumble into particles of light and darkness, his form dissolving into nothingness. There was no cry of agony, only a gasp of emptiness, as Rizen ceased to exist.
Goku, exhausted but victorious, returned to his base state. The universe somehow felt lighter, as if a shadow had been lifted. Whis and Beerus, who had witnessed the battle from a safe distance, approached, their faces filled with awe.
Lord Goku, you did it! You defeated Rizen, a threat that existed even before the gods. Beerus, with an expression of deep respect, said, You are truly the strongest, a worthy successor to the ZENO-samas. Goku scratched his head, his usual smile returning. It was a tough fight, but now that I'm going to be the king of everything, I won't have to be bored, right? Whis and Beerus looked at each other, a cold bead of sweat running down their temples. Goku's reign as the king of everything promised to be anything but boring. A gentle, bright light enveloped Goku, teleporting him back to the palace of the king of everything. There was no sound, only a sensation of displacement through the infinite layers of reality.
The two ZENO-samas floated patiently, their large, childlike eyes filled with an unusual expectation for beings who had witnessed the totality of time. Daishinkan, standing beside them, smiled with a calmness that revealed his deep knowledge of what was to come, a smile that now concealed an even greater admiration for the Saiyan. Goku, you did it! The two ZENO-samas exclaimed in unison, their small forms radiating a joy that made the vast palace gently vibrate. Yes, ZENO-samas, there are no more threats to distract me, and I am ready for whatever you have for me, Goku said, kneeling before them. It was not fear that motivated him, but sincere respect for their position and the immense power they represented. He felt the weight of responsibility, a feeling uncommon for him, but now manifesting with overwhelming clarity. Good, said one of the Zenos, his eyes glowing with a strange light. Now it is your turn. Yes, you will be the new king of everything, added the other, floating toward Goku with palpable energy. We are no longer bored of you. Goku, with a lump in his throat, nodded. The magnitude of ZENO-sama's words began to sink in. To be the king of everything. The idea was so vast, so incomprehensible, that his Saiyan mind could barely process it. At that instant, the two ZENO-samas, with a solemnity that transcended their childlike appearance, extended their small hands toward Goku. A golden and silver light erupted, a silent explosion of pure creation and destruction energy. It was not an aggressive light, but a constant and overwhelming current that flowed directly into Goku. It was a transfer of knowledge, of cosmic wisdom that encompassed the totality of the multiverse. Goku felt the intrinsic understanding of the universal balance, the laws that governed every atom, every planet, every galaxy, and the absolute power that defined the king of everything. Goku closed his eyes, feeling a torrent of information flood his mind. Millennia of creation and destruction, the histories of every universe, its living beings, its angels, its gods of destruction, its Kaioshins. It was not just data, it was the very essence of divinity, the perspective of existence from the viewpoint of the Supreme Being. His body vibrated with this new energy, one that transcended even his Ultra Instinct Phase 3, merging with every cell of his being, rewriting his very composition at a fundamental level. The limits he once knew dissolved, replaced with a direct connection to the very fabric of reality. When the light dissipated, Goku rose slowly. His silver eyes were no longer just a manifestation of Ultra Instinct. They now held the depth and calmness of eons of existence. The joviality of before had been replaced by a quiet seriousness, an ancient wisdom. His aura, though invisible, radiated a silent authority, a presence that encompassed the entire palace of the King of Everything, filling every corner with an energy that was both overwhelming and perfectly balanced. The knowledge and power of the ZENO-samas have been transferred, Daishin-kan announced, his voice resonating with a deeper reverence than ever before. He is the new guarantor of balance, the creator of existence, and the judge of nothingness. Goku looked at the two original ZENO-samas, who now seemed slightly smaller, as if they had released an immense part of themselves. Yet their smiles remained as innocent and joyful as ever. "You command now, Goku," they said, and with a wave of their hands, two identical thrones to the main one, but much smaller, like seats of honor for his former mentors and now counselors. Goku looked around the vast, empty throne room, which now seemed much less intimidating and more like a space he was destined to occupy. He was no longer the impulsive warrior who only thought about the next fight. He was the king of everything, the guardian of creation, and the enforcer of destruction when necessary. A faint but determined smile formed on his lips. He knew that his love for battle would not disappear, but it would now be subordinate to a much greater task, a responsibility that would drive him to grow in ways he never imagined. "Yes," Goku said. His voice resonated with a new authority, one that was quiet yet undeniably powerful, filling the palace of the King of Everything with his presence. With one final look at his old friends, the little ZENO-samas, Goku walked toward the immense white throne. He ascended the steps, each stride an affirmation of his new destiny. Finally, he sat down, his figure, though still that of an Earth-built Saiyan, now imbued with the majesty and power of the multiverse's ultimate deity. A subtle golden halo appeared above his head, and his silver eyes emitted a glow that was both ancient and newborn. The multiverse in that instant felt the presence of its new sovereign. Gods trembled, angels bowed their heads, and every living being in every universe perceived a change, a new era. The reign of Son Goku, the king of everything, had begun. And although his path would be full of new challenges, monumental decisions, and a loneliness inherent to his position, he knew that somehow he would still find a way to enjoy every moment, true to his unbreakable Saiyan spirit.
When suddenly, he felt a disturbance. It wasn't a universal threat like Ryzen. It was much closer and intensely personal. He could feel the power of his friends waning considerably. Daishin-kan, Goku's new calm voice echoed in the silent hall. The Grand Priest materialized instantly. "My king, the energy of the Earth, Universe 7, it is weakening. Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, their life force is strong, but their combat power is being suppressed by an immense, hateful ki. Something is happening on Earth, something that demands my attention." Daishin-kan bowed slightly. "I perceive it, a localized phenomenon of extreme malice. But my king, you are now the supreme sovereign. The protocol is to dispatch an angel or a god of destruction." Goku stood up, the subtle golden halo above his head shimmering. "Protocol is for the board! My friends are in danger, and the king of everything does not send others to do what his heart tells him must be done." The ZENO-samas, having floated silently, giggled. "Goku is fun! Go, Goku! Smash the mean thing!" Goku smiled, a hint of his old Saiyan joy returning. "Don't worry, ZENO-samas. I'll be quick." With a flash of light that encompassed the entire dimension, Goku vanished. He reappeared high above Earth. Below, the familiar landscapes of Capsule Corp and the surrounding mountains were being ravaged by dark ki. Smoke rose, and the air was thick with despair. Goku descended slowly, his mantle flowing dramatically. He found the Z fighters defeated. Vegeta was on his knees, panting, his Ultra Ego form shattered. Gohan and Piccolo lay nearby, injured but conscious. Standing over them, radiating overwhelming power, was a figure he knew intimately, Frieza. But this was different. Frieza's skin was obsidian black, radiating a malevolent purple aura. He was bulkier, taller, and his eyes burned with a superior arrogance. This was Black Frieza, and his power was palpably stronger than the version Goku had faced before, amplified by his own sheer spite and training in the dark corners of the universe. Goku, Frieza purred, his voice dripping with triumphant venom. I suppose the news of my true potential has finally dragged the great king of everything down from his high perch? Goku looked at his friends and then back at Frieza. Frieza, I expected better. You should know by now that hurting my friends never ends well for you. Hurt? This is merely a warm-up, Saiyan. Your little friends were kind enough to demonstrate how utterly pathetic your god-tier powers truly are. Frieza chuckled, a sound like grinding metal. Goku immediately transformed. His hair turned cyan, and his aura crackled with divine energy. Super Saiyan Blue! Frieza simply smirked, a colorful nostalgia. Is that all the king of everything can muster? Goku launched a flurry of incredibly fast punches. The King's Super Saiyan Blue was infinitely stronger than the version Frieza had defeated years ago, capable of destroying galaxies. But Frieza didn't move. He stood there, catching every single one of Goku's punches with casual indifference, his expression bored. Too slow, Goku. Too emotional, Frieza taunted, pushing Goku away with a single finger. Goku stumbled, shocked. My power transcends yours now, Goku. That primitive ki energy you rely on is beneath me. Your god form is merely an inconvenience to my true, absolute existence. Frieza boasted, his aura flaring violently. I am stronger than your Ultra Instinct, stronger than your little prince's Ultra Ego, and certainly stronger than the king of everything who plays dress-up with a red cape. Frieza moved in a flash, delivering a heavy blow that sent Goku crashing through the remnants of a mountain. Goku emerged from the rubble, dusting off his red mantle. He knew the truth. His base power was now beyond comprehension. But to challenge Black Frieza's absolute supremacy, he had to trust the ultimate technique. Goku sighed, his voice calm. You win, Frieza. Your raw power, it's too much for Super Saiyan Blue. Frieza laughed maniacally. Finally, a confession of weakness, the end of the Saiyan legend. But I have another trick, Goku said, closing his eyes. He didn't scream, he didn't bulk up. His aura, his focus, and his body achieved a calm that transcended all prior effort. His eyes opened, pure, focused silver, the signature of mastered Ultra Instinct, now applied to his base form. What is this? Frieza stammered, his confidence momentarily shaken. Goku moved, not with rage, not with the explosive speed of ki, but with perfect, instantaneous fluidity. Frieza tried to react, but he was always a fraction of a second too slow. Goku was everywhere and nowhere. The king of everything didn't use devastating blasts. He used precision. He attacked every vulnerable nerve cluster, every weak point in Black Frieza's newly developed form. He didn't need to break Frieza's spirit. He just needed to break his body. Frieza roared in frustrated agony as he was bombarded by light-speed, perfectly placed strikes. Impossible! My power is absolute! You cannot surpass me with technique alone! Your power is a finite number, Frieza! My technique is the entire universe reacting, and the universe is not on your side. Goku focused his energy into a single, perfectly balanced punch. A punch that carried the weight of his Ultra Instinct training with Daishinkan. The blow landed squarely on Frieza's chest, not exploding, but negating. It bypassed the anti-ki defense and struck the core of his physical form. Frieza gasped, collapsing backward. His obsidian form began to fade, his power rapidly draining. He reverted to his weakest base form, battered and defeated. Goku stood over him, calm and composed. It seems the king of everything still has time for fun, Goku said, a small victorious smirk finally crossing his lips. The threat was neutralized. The multiverse was safe once more. Goku had won, not with overwhelming rage or a new color, but with the mastery of self, the ultimate lesson learned from his divine training.